my little yarnivores and spiderettes, Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And recently it was suggested that I do a tutorial on the Arruga stitch. So I thought I would give it a look, and I found it and I decided, I'll give it a go. And also, as a twofer, this is also a yarn box update. So it's, two birds, one stone. So this stitch, absolutely love it. It is a beautiful, as you can see, textured stitch, very much like the basket weave stitch, also sort of like the granite stitch, and you will see why. And this feels absolutely divine. Now the yarn, this is the twofer. This was from my last yarn box unboxing. This is Delicious Yarns, and the feel of it is quite delicious. And it is 51% combed organic cotton and 49% bamboo. And this blueberry color actually, to me, is more like a denim, sort of like a stone-washed kind of denim look. Absolutely love it. It does actually remind me somewhat of the yarn Sugar and Cream, that cotton yarn that you find in those little skeins at the craft store, because it's not quite as elastic as acrylic, but I absolutely love it. And you know what? This stitch would be great for so many things. I'm thinking, well, I'm making a scarf right now, but this would be perfect in an actual cotton yarn for making washcloths because of the texture. Oh, it feels so lovely. This would be great for a baby blanket, scarves, throws, wraps, what have you, and it has a very simple repeat, which I'm going to go in depth with you. Now, to conclude, no, I'm not sponsored by Delicious Yarns or by Yarnbox, but I love to give you updates when I have fresh information for you. And I've been working with this, and it is lovely. I was a little worried that the yarn was going to split with the plies, but actually no, it's doing very nicely. It has a very clean, soft feel to it, and it's lovely. So, enough of my yammering. Let's get on with the tutorial. Alrighty, so with the piece that I showed you, that was with a size I crochet hook, and it's about a worsted weight. Now this, I'm using a size J, and I'm using my trusty old Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway of Oatmeal, because I always love to make sure that you guys know what I'm using, so that if you ever want to duplicate, you can. So, to get started, this is so simple. Absolutely love this. Going to start with a slip stitch, as we always do. And this pattern is in a multiple of 2 as far as your chains are concerned. So I'm just going to do a whole bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm going to leave it at 12. But you can make this as wide or as narrow as you want to. If you want to do a blanket, it would come out so lovely. Say in Pound of Love by Lion Brand. Again, not sponsored, but that would be a perfect yarn for this in, I would say, a size I crochet hook. Now, because this is a textured stitch, it is very thick, it's toasty, and also because you're using front and back post stitches, this will eat up your yarn a little bit quicker than a normal stitch. So we're going to start by doing a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, like so. And then we're going to continue on this first row, just doing double crochets into each chain stitch. And this is going to act as our foundation row. And then the real magic is going to start to happen with the texture. Alrighty, just doing regular double crochets, nothing schmancy. And then a double crochet into the last chain. Easy peasy. Alright. So, like I said, you can make this as wide as you want to, and also keep in mind that this chain on the side will count as a stitch. But we'll get into that. Alrighty. Alrighty, so for the second row of this pattern, we're going to start by chaining up one stitch, turn the work, and into this first stitch right here, do a single crochet stitch. Easy enough, right? Alright, so then to start with the texture, we're going to be doing front and back post single crochets. Typically, in my experience, we do double crochets, but this is a little bit different. So instead of yarning over, we're just going to go right in doing a back post single crochet. And so basically we're going around and we're catching the post here. You see, going underneath, in between the posts, and capturing the post, like so, pulling up our yarn, and then pulling through two. And that is a back post single crochet. Then we're going to do a front post single crochet, going through the front of the post as a single crochet. And then another back post, so going in through the back, around the post, and if you turn your work, you can see that you caught the post, like so. And this first row is going to seem a little bit wonky, to be sure, but trust me, we'll get there. And then, so we just did a back post, and you'll know because we have this ridge going across there. And then, so we're going to do another front post, single crochet. And then another back post, single crochet. And then another front, just alternating back and forth, front and back. So I did a front, now I have to do a back. And then a front, and we're almost to the end. All right, so now what we need to do is in this chain, in the top of the chain here, we're going to do a single crochet. And yes, it can be a little bit tricky to get in there, but just take your time and you can do it. Be the master of the yarn. Don't let the yarn master you. All right, so that's the end of the second row. So we've got these ridges going on here. You see? Got some texture. And the other really neat thing about this stitch is that it is double-sided, which is an extra bonus. All right, so I'm going to go on with row 3. Alrighty, so for row 3, we're going to start by chaining up 2, turn the work, and not into this very first stitch, because this counts as our first double crochet. So not into here, but into the next stitch, do a double crochet, and we're going to do double crochets all along in every stitch. Now you may need to turn your work just a little bit to see where your stitches are because of the texturing of this stitch. It can be a little bit tricky. You know, you will probably need to turn your work to see where to stitch into, and that's okay, because with textured stitches involving front and back post stitches, it's sort of a bit of a workout. You know, you really have to examine both sides, and also a lot of the time it's by feel, not even by sight. All right, and then into that last stitch, another double crochet. All right, and that's the end of row 3. Alrighty, so for row 4, we're going to start again by chaining up 1, turn the work, and into the first stitch, going to do a single crochet again. All right, so now see this ridge here. Okay, that marks that it was a back post double crochet, and this stitch here in between my little thumbs is a front post. So we need to stagger the stitches. So because this was a back post, we need to start with a front post. So going in through the front like that, do a front post single crochet. So now this one is standing out just like this one. You know, it's going to be staggered. So now the next one is going to be a back post. So going in through the back, and it can be a little bit tricky. So what I find helps is when you are going in through the back, if you actually hold your piece like this, makes it a little bit easier to pull your yarn through. And then we're going to do another front post. The front posts I never have any real trouble with. The back posts a bit. So going in through the back, and then push the work down a little bit, pull a loop, and through. Then a front post, and then another back post, and then another front post, and then we're almost there, another back post, and last but not least, we need another single crochet, and we're going to do a single crochet into the second chain right here, right into this end chain here, the second chain up, do a single crochet. And that's the end of the 4th row. So as you can see, our front posts are staggered because we have 2 and then 1 in the center, and then we've got these 2 down in here and then 1 in the center. If I turn it, perhaps you can see how they are actually staggered. And then on the back, same deal. And this feels lovely, let me tell you. All right, so we'll continue on with row 5. Alrighty, so row 5, we're going to start by chaining up 2 again. And again, skipping this first stitch here, we're going to go into the next one over with a double crochet. And do double crochets into each and every stitch all the way across. also, with these textured stitches, I will be the first to admit that it is very easy to miss a stitch or to accidentally add a stitch because it's not strictly a linear kind of stitch. See, like right here, looks a little wonky, but actually there's just 2 stitches for me left to work in. So when you're first starting out doing a textured stitch such as this, it's good to double check and make sure that you haven't added or subtracted any of your stitches. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I had 12 chains, so that compensates. So yes, I still have my 10 stitches. And so it's good to keep track. So that was row 5. Now we're going to be basically repeating rows 2 through 5 for the rest of the pattern. It's as easy as that. And rows 3 and 5 are just double crochets. The alternating with rows 2 and 4, quite simply, is do you start with the front post or the back post? Well, we started with the back post, then we did a front post, so then after doing a single crochet into here, we would be doing another back post because it has that staggering shifting of the binary of A and B, front post versus back post. So without yammering on too much, I'm going to do a couple more repeats for you, just so that you are sure to get it, because I do care that you get it. Alrighty, so I'm going to start by chaining up 1, turn the work, single crochet into the first stitch, and we need to do a back post double crochet. So, sorry, back post single crochet, excuse me. So into the back, and through, then a front post, then another back post. See how I'm actually folding over the work? Makes it a lot easier, believe you me. Then a front post, and then a back post, and a front post, and a back post. So in a sense, it's sort of like the basket weave, and it's sort of like the granite or moss stitch because it's more tightly packed, but it's the same mechanics of a basket weave. And so we've reached the very end, so into the second chain on the last double crochet, I'm going to do a single crochet right in there. All right, and then chaining up of 2, turn the work, skipping the first, going into the second with a double crochet, and just double crochet our way across. And I don't know about you, but I find the name of this stitch rather funny. Arruga. I either think of Aruba, as in the place, or arugula, as in what one would eat. Or, if you're thinking of old school cartoons, when somebody toots on a horn and it goes, Arruga. Yes, I think too much. Okay, and then a double crochet into this last stitch here. All right, and then chain 1, turn the work, single crochet into the very first stitch. All right, so we had a back post, a front post, a back post, so we need another front post. So into the front post, single crochet, in through the back, there we go, front post, back post, and front post, and back post, and front post, single crochet. And then again into the second chain, right there, do a single crochet, chain 2, skipping the first one, going into the next one with a double, oops, come on, and also I am using a size J crochet hook with this worsted weight because I find that because this creates a very dense fabric, that if you use a slightly larger hook than you normally would, it's not quite as stiff, which I find helps, especially if you want it to have a nice drape. Just a little tip. That, and also I have a tendency of having a death grip on my hook and my yarn, and I tend to stitch very tightly. So when I put it at the angle here, you can actually see such a lovely, lovely texture. All these little nodules. All right, and I'm going to do one more for you. So chaining 1, single crochet into the first stitch. All right, so doing a recap, we had a back post, a front post, back post, front post. We need a back post. So going in through the back, there we go, and then through the front, and then through the back, and through the front, and through the back, and the front, and the back, and last but not least, a single crochet into the second chain of the turning chain. Ta-da! And that's all there is to it. And I would love to hear what you think, because this is just so much fun. Absolutely love it. You know, this is a great stitch, and it will also help to familiarize you on how to, work different stitches, different post stitches, and so forth. And it's a lot of fun, and I think you should give it a try. So if you like this tutorial, please hit the little thumbs up button down below. And if you have any questions, comments, what have you, please do so in the comment section down below. I love hearing from you oh so very much. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so as well, because I try to post videos as often as I can, because this is my passion and I love sharing it with all of you. And so, my dears, until next time, I want you all to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.